My memory of art in primary school is one week I did a painting of an African shield and I was so happy with this painting. And then the next week, the teacher was handing out all the paintings from the previous week and he was holding each one up saying, "Whose is this? Whose is this?" I don't know why we didn't write our names on the back, but anyway, we obviously didn't, and mine still hadn't come out. And he kept saying, "Whose is this? Whose is this painting?" The thing was, I didn't recognise it as my painting because when I painted it, it was lovely rich brown colours. But obviously I guess we use some kind of powder paint, and the thing is about the powder paint is when it's mixed with water it looks quite rich and nice. But when it dried all pale and insipid. And obviously when the teacher held up this painting of mine, I just didn't recognise it. And he kept calling out, "Whose is this painting? Whose is this painting?" Because I didn't recognise it as my lovely painting I had in my mind, I just didn't say anything. And then eventually someone said, "That's Giles's." And I thought, oh gosh, so it is. It is my painting. And I had to stand in the corner as punishment for not recognising my own painting. I can't really say that my experience of art at secondary school was that much better. At the beginning of term, we'd get a list of topics to draw, things like a journey to the moon, a summer's day on the river, a trip to the seaside. And every week we would come in and look down the next title on the list, rummage on the bookshelf and try to find something that would help make a drawing to illustrate the topic on the list. During these lessons I would trade with another boy whose dad worked for the Letracet company. Letracet was pretty exciting. They made these transfer sheets of typefaces, and I loved all the wacky fonts you could get, and I used them to decorate the spines of my cassette collection when I got back home. And these activities were all made to the sound of the teacher typing. I wasn't sure at the time what he was typing. In fact, I'm not sure right now, but I have a suspicion, as some years later an art book was published with his name on it. Perhaps he preferred the written word, as the main feedback I would receive were from comments on my homework. I'd spend a long time doing a really nice detailed observational drawing of a tree or a landscape or something like that, and he'd write things like, "If you're going to draw the sun, make sure it's round." Or, "If you're going to draw a tree, make sure there's some branches that come towards you." I've since stopped trying to make things round. In fact, the less round the better. And I rarely worry about branches. My technical drawing teacher at school was similarly quiet, so it came as a surprise when he challenged me to a duel. Well, okay, it wasn't exactly a duel. He used to live near me, and like me, cycled to school. And as I cycled home, I could see him cycling slowly along ahead of me. He always had a briefcase in a box, strapped to the back carrier, with those stretchy rope clip things, and his large feet turning like the blades of a windmill on the pedals. On this occasion I was passing him, and I looked across to say hello in that nervous fashion you do with teachers, and he replied, "So, you want to race then?" Well, this did take me by surprise. Okay, I said, and we both took off along the Appledore Road, neck and neck. He accelerated, I accelerated, the chains were straining, the mudguards were rattling. We were absolutely whizzing along, when suddenly he just disappeared. Huh? What happened there? I thought, and I looked round, and there he was, picking himself up. It turned out, with all the additional vibrations, the cardboard box on the back of his bike had worked its way loose, slipped round and caught in the spokes. He'd come to a very sudden halt. Briefcase, books, papers, everywhere. So, that was the first and last cycle race I ever had with my technical drawing teacher.